Welcome everybody, Josh here, back at again with a brand new YouTube video. Sorry about the lack of shaving today. I was not really expecting to come to my place and actually make a video, but I figured I'd bring some of my Hasbro Marvel Legends series stuff here, which I just got the Captain America shield as well as the Iron Man helmet, which is pretty much the video that we're going to be discussing today. I'm actually doing a product review of the Iron Man helmet from Marvel Legends from Hasbro. So if you see an image of the Iron Man sort of helmet or sort of Tony Stark in general in the background, that is what we're going to be discussing today. And I honestly have to say that, Hasbro has really nailed themselves out of the park with this one. I think this is a fantastic replica of the Mark III and Mark IV helmet, which personally they don't really have a designation of which mark this helmet actually is on the box, which is kind of a shame because being that I'm a huge Iron Man fan, being that I'm a huge fan of Tony Stark in the MCU movies, it'd be really cool to kind of get sort of the actual designation on the box and stuff like that. But in either case, I ordered the Marvel Legends Hasbro Iron Man helmet from Marvel Legends a while ago, about a week ago to be honest with you, and it shipped within a week of me ordering, which was pretty cool. In any case, my Marvel Legends Iron Man helmet shipped within a week of ordering it, and it was about $100. But in any case, I am not affiliated with Hasbro or the Marvel Legends brand. I am pretty much reviewing these because I like collecting movie memorabilia and props and replicas and stuff like that. And as someone that's, into kind of collecting these replica props and stuff from films that I like, the MCU is one of those that I figured I was going to be talking a lot about in the future, especially with the newer Avengers movies coming out soon and the other sort of superhero films within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I figured that I would get the Marvel Legends Iron Man helmet just so I could kind of talk to you guys about that and have like a prop to either show you guys or either wear sort of when I'm doing videos and stuff like I'm doing right now. And the very first Iron Man movie was one that I did not necessarily want to go to. As you guys kind of remember in sort of my Iron Man review, my dad kind of had to drag me to the movie theater to go see that just because of the fact that I had been kind of already sort of burnt out by superhero movies since we had the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, which I absolutely loved at the time. I saw those, well, at least the first one, the second one multiple times in theaters. I think I saw the first one about 4 or 5 times in theaters, especially since I was going to the theaters to go see them pretty much every day as a kid. And those are movies that I have yet to review on the channel. I'll definitely review them at some point. But my dad kind of had to coax me to go see this movie. I'm like, Dad, I don't know anything about Iron Man. I've never seen sort of the comics before. I've never heard of Iron Man. So like, why do I really want to go see this movie? And he's like, come on, we kind of have to go see this. It's going to be really good. Sure enough, we went to the theater and I absolutely loved the movie. It quickly became one of my favorite MCU films to date, alongside Civil War as well as The Winter Soldier, which I have yet to talk about on my channel. And I'll definitely talk about that at some point, especially in the near future. And now that I've got the Iron Man helmet, the replica one that I have over here, I can actually wear that during my reviews and actually kind of look the part of Tony Stark, especially when I'm wearing it, because it looks that good and it looks almost identical to the one that's in the movie. So without further ado, let me go grab the Iron Man helmet and we'll discuss a little bit more sort of in this video what is unique about the features of the helmet, which I will definitely show you guys in a little bit. And here is the Iron Man helmet itself. This thing is badass. Even opening this out of the box, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I have one of these. This is hard plastic. This is not a metal version. I don't even know if Hasbro or the Marvel Legends brand actually sells like a metal version of the Iron Man helmet. I know that they do for the Captain America shield, which would be kind of cool to get. I did get the hard plastic version of that as well. So let me know in the comment section below if you want me to review that as well. But one of the things that I like about this helmet is, as you can see, it is magnetized. I do have the batteries in right now. That's why I kind of propped the helmet or the faceplate up on the head of the helmet just so that it doesn't make so much noise, especially when you move it around. It likes to kind of make noise and stuff like that, as well as have light up effects and stuff, which I will demonstrate in a little bit. The light up effects are really, really cool. As you can see here with the eyes, I don't know if I could kind of turn it like that, but the eyes light up. It's a little bit blue. The LED screens kind of light up here on the faceplate, and it does make sound effects. It doesn't do sort of the voice changer thing, kind of like the Star Wars The Black Series thing does. I'm kind of happy that it doesn't do that, mostly because of the fact that I never really used the Star Wars The Black Series voice changers in the helmets. I always kind of just turned them off and didn't put the batteries in because it didn't really affect me too much. I know that the Stormtrooper helmet had one, and I know that the Boba Fett series helmet has some light up effects and stuff like that. The Kylo Ren definitely does have the voice changer. One thing I do wish that this helmet had that it doesn't have is a Jarvis sort of, sound effects and maybe lines and quotes from the movie. I think that'd be pretty sweet, especially if you're wearing this and you had sort of Jarvis talking to you, similar to that of the Luke Skywalker Black Series helmet, where you've got sort of the X-Wing pilot helmet stuff that's going on in the background, the movie quotes from the films. That would have been really cool, especially if you got Tony Stark talking and stuff. But either way, I think that for the replica helmet, especially something that you could cosplay with or just have on display, especially if you have sort of a theater room or a office that you want to have cool stuff in the background with, I think that this is definitely worth your money. I think as a replica helmet, especially at $100. These were going up at $200 because Hasbro for the longest time were not, reissuing new helmets and stuff. They were not making new products, so they did go up in price, especially depending on where you got them. But I waited a while. I waited till they kind of started putting more in stock, and that's why I got this thing, because I'm like, this thing is badass. There's no way I can't get an Iron Man helmet. I was kind of deciding whether I was going to get the Punisher War Machine version or if I was just going to get the Iron Man classic red and gold. But I figured that since I was going to be talking about the MCU in general, especially the MCU films in the future. I can't be talking about that and wearing the Punisher War Machine helmet just because that never existed within the MCU films. Maybe in the future it will. One of the things I would really like to see Hasbro maybe do in the future is do a Iron Patriot helmet design with the red, blue, and silver, kind of like what they did for Rhodey and sort of the MCU films. I think that would be pretty sweet, or even just an all sort of silver variant of this helmet. But as you can see, the level of detail on this thing is awesome. You can also prop up the helmet so that way you can talk while you're wearing it. When you have the faceplate sort of enclosed, it does become sort of hard to hear, so I kind of wish that there was a way that they installed something that could let you hear a little bit better, especially when you're talking to people while wearing this thing. But you also got this back piece here that kind of opens up and stuff, which is kind of nice, especially when you're trying to put on the helmet, which I'll kind of demonstrate for you in a little bit. But it's kind of like the Boba Fett Black Series helmet, where this has a lot of really cool detail. If you look inside the helmet as well, I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera, but you can kind of see that there's even intricate designs inside of the helmet, which I really do appreciate and I do like a whole lot. If I pull off the faceplate here, sometimes it does do sort of the sound effects, but it's not doing that right now. As you can see, there's sort of intricate designs on the helmet inside here. The faceplate, they don't really do anything that much, but you got sort of the standard gold finish on the front here. But you know, just with the LED screens and sort of the LED plexiglass in here that they have, it's really detailed, and I really do appreciate Hasbro for putting the level of detail to it. As I set this down over here, the helmet itself is pretty much all red with a little bit of gold on the chin strap here, and then when you have the faceplate on, it does the classic sort of Iron Man sort of, you know, gold and red that we all come to know and love. But you know, as you can see, it's intricately detailed on all sides. It resembles that of the Mark III and the Mark IV. I don't know which version because it doesn't really state that on the box, but there are some slight defects from when they molded this helmet and when they created this helmet. There's some scratches and some dent marks and stuff that I can definitely tell, and I don't know if that was necessarily from sort of the molding process or if it was when I was transporting it here through my vehicle. But I did try to be as careful as possible with this thing because I did want to review this for you guys. But overall, I think that as a collector, as someone that collects these movie props, like I said before, if you're going to be having this on a shelf as a display piece or even using it to kind of go to conventions with and cosplay, I think that you're going to have a really fun time with this helmet. This head strap actually does fit me, that you can see here. I tried this on earlier and there's a little bit of wiggle, so I think I could adjust it a little bit and then it'd probably fit me a little bit more than it does. But overall, I think that this is definitely worth the $100 that you're going to be paying for it. You know, some of these helmets, especially the metal versions or the fiberglass, could go upwards of $500, $600, which I think is absurd, especially if you're looking for a more display piece. But I think that what you're getting in terms of the Iron Man helmet per se is definitely worth your time and money. So let me put the faceplate back on and then I'll talk about this helmet a little bit more with the faceplate on, and then I'll try this on for you guys and kind of show you guys what this looks like with sort of the mask on and everything, and I'll pretty much show you guys what it looks like with the mask off or the faceplate. And as you guys can tell, there is light up effects, there is sort of sound effects when you are put the faceplate on, there is effects when you take it off, so do keep that in mind. It's rather loud. There is a way to adjust it, but I think that, you know, due to the fact that I am using some batteries that are kind of defective and really old, I think that some of them might be dead, and that's why they're kind of acting up and not allowing me to kind of adjust sort of the dimmer that is in here. There is a dimmer so you can kind of control the light effects and stuff like that, especially when you're wearing it. This is getting rather annoying, so hopefully this doesn't annoy you guys while you're watching this video. But that is really cool, especially when you're taking pictures and photos and stuff. If you're going to conventions, if you're going to a movie theater and kind of wearing this thing around as sort of the Iron Man helmet, you're going to want to have those turned on. You're going to want to have the different sort of dimmer effects kind of in play when you're kind of taking pictures, just because it looks a little bit better than just having it completely turned off. But you can have it turned off if you're walking around convention floors or even the movie theaters. That is an option that you have as well. Like I said, you know, this helmet overall I think is pretty badass, especially for a hard plastic. This is not sort of a metal or fiberglass version, as you can kind of see here. I'm totally down for having something that's cheap, that's affordable, that I can kind of put on my shelf, that looks really, really good in my background of my videos. And that is one of the things that I, you know, considered when I was buying that, especially one that I'm probably going to wear this thing, especially if I do sort of a Captain America Civil War review or sort of the other Marvel Avengers movies or even Iron Man 2 review that I have yet to film on this channel. I figured I could wear it for that as well. You know, there's a lot of usage that I can get out of this, especially being that this is sort of a replica of the one from the film. But without further ado, let's try this on and kind of see how this looks with me wearing this thing. So give me a second and I'll show you guys what it looks like in just a few. Alright, so as you guys can tell, there is a little bit of a wiggle here. I haven't adjusted the helmet too much due to the fact that I haven't had time to figure out the helmet strap to kind of, adjust it to my head. But other than that, I think that this helmet does fit me really well. I was kind of worried when I got this that it wasn't gonna fit me. It's really tight in here, especially when you're trying to talk. My mouth does kind of hit the inside of the helmet from time to time, and the eyes do kind of fog up, which is sort of a negative about this helmet. But other than that, if you're just wearing this around to conventions, if you're just wearing this around your house or to a movie theater, you're gonna get a lot of really cool sort of effects with this helmet. The eyes do light up. There is a button underneath here that you press, and then the eyes will light up and dim. I'm not gonna personally do that because there is other videos out there that kind of show you what they look like, especially if you look at other YouTubers, Hasbro Marvel Legends series Iron Man helmet videos, you can definitely see what they look like. But the effects and stuff, yeah, other than that, I really do think that this helmet is worth the payment that you're gonna be making on Amazon or any other sort of retailer for about $100, especially for this helmet, for the accuracy and the attention to detail that Hasbro has done. I really do like this thing. I think it's pretty badass, especially if you're an Iron Man or Tony Stark fan. I think that this is something that you're going to want to have in your collection. It is definitely a conversation starter, especially when people come over and they're like, oh, hey, is that the Iron Man helmet from the first movie, the second movie, or even the Avengers films? And you can pretty much tell them that yes, indeed, it is based off those. Jon Favreau is one of my favorite directors in recent memory. He's done sort of The Mandalorian. He's done sort of the MCU movies. He pretty much started the MCU movies with the very first Iron Man. I think he directed Iron Man 2. That wasn't as good as Iron Man 1. But in any case, I really do appreciate the work that he's done, especially as a filmmaker. And, he's done The Jungle Book and stuff like that, which I definitely did like, and I haven't reviewed, but I will review that at some point on my channel. But as someone that's really interested in the Marvel superhero films, I like the fact that Tony Stark basically built this thing, exoskeleton suit, within a cave and pretty much escaped captivity. And he started fighting crime with the Iron Man suit. He pretty much built this thing to kind of protect people as well as help his friends, the Avengers. And I really do appreciate the level of detail that Hasbro's done. I think they have nailed it and knocked it out of the park, like I said earlier on in this review. I think this helmet looks really, really good, especially when you remove the faceplate and you can actually breathe and talk through this, which I'm about to do in a little bit. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit muffled. That's because I'm talking through here and there's no sort of voice changer or way to amplify my voice while you're talking about it or while you're talking in this thing, because it is getting incredibly hot, especially with the lights and stuff. So I'm gonna remove the faceplate and kind of put it on top of my head and kind of show you guys what that looks like. So give me a second here to kind of do that, and I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. Alright, that feels a lot better now that I have sort of the faceplate up here. It does get really, really hot and steamy, especially if you were talking through the Iron Man helmet, since there is no voice changer. My voice does sound a little bit more normal and less muffled now that I have the faceplate off. I think that as, like I said before, a $100 replica prop as sort of a hard plastic prop that kind of resembles that of the Iron Man helmet, I think this is definitely worth your money. I think that if you're considering buying this for either your kid or yourself as an adult, this is more in terms of an adult collector sort of movie prop. This is not really geared towards kids. I don't think that kids should be buying this type of stuff, especially since it is $100. But I think that if you're going to be buying it for a kid or someone that's in their teens, I think they're really going to enjoy this prop. I think if you're buying it for yourself, if you want it as something to look good on your shelf, if you want something to look good in sort of your home theater setup and stuff like that, if you want something to kind of just walk around at conventions with, or even a movie theater, if you do go to premieres in the future of the future Marvel movies, even though, spoiler alert, Tony Stark is no longer around, then you will definitely have a lot of fun with this helmet. I definitely think you should consider it. I think it is definitely worth your money. I was a little bit skeptical of this helmet when I first bought it, just because I didn't know how well it was going to look in terms of design and detail. But I do think that, in terms of build quality, this is top of the line. This is Hasbro and Marvel Legends on their A game. I think that as a Marvel fan, you're really going to have a fun time role playing as Tony Stark, especially with some of the lines that he has in the movies and stuff like that. I think that you will definitely enjoy sort of this replica prop. And as always, I'm going to give my stamp of approval with an A+. I think that Hasbro, even though I'm not affiliated with the company, even though I am just someone that buys their replica props as someone that enjoys sort of their Marvel Legends lineup as well as the Black Series, I think they knocked it out of the park with this. I also do have the Infinity Gauntlet and the Iron Gauntlet, or the Power Gauntlet as it's officially known, but I think that people call it the Iron Gauntlet if they're fans of Iron Man, and I think it just depends on, what you call it. I think that you're going to have a lot of fun with this, and I think that you should definitely check this out and pick this up for yourself, especially if you're considering it. I think that it's definitely worth it. Just the level of detail, like I said before, with the fact that you can remove the faceplate, with the fact that it is magnetized. If I pull it off, you will see that it got the magnets and stuff on it. I don't want to do that because I don't want this stuff to fall over, but you can check out the other videos online about this helmet, and they'll definitely show you kind of how to remove the faceplate and stuff like that. I will actually remove this because I do want to show you guys where the battery component is. In the chin, if you kind of turn this around, there is sort of a battery component inside where you kind of put 3 AAA batteries. I did think originally it was just one AAA battery, but it actually is 3 of them. So if you're going to be doing sort of the sound effects as well as light up LEDs and stuff that's inside of this helmet, definitely keep that in mind. I really do like this thing. I think that the attention to detail is fantastic. Right out of opening out of the box, I was super impressed, super happy that I got this. And as an MCU fan, I think that I will definitely be wearing this more in the future. So as always, guys, hopefully you guys learned a thing or two about the movie industry as a whole. If you like this, please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.